Hey, it's Rich Varrasso here. It's the Good Morning Gold County Show live from Copperopolis, California, and we're here downtown for the Veterans Day Parade. Okay, so today we're here in downtown Copperopolis for the Veterans Day Parade. It's put on by the VFW Post 12118, and I've met a couple of the guys. They actually helped bring a helicopter in, and we're going to go look at what happened here a couple days ago with the helicopter. But today is a Veterans Day Parade, so we blocked off all Copperopolis here, which isn't very much, but it's pretty cool. And this is a family day and a family parade right here on Main Street, Copperopolis.
Beginning in March, the U.S. Census Bureau will invite households across the country to participate in the 2020 census. But what is the census? Simply put, the census is a head count of every person living in the United States. To be sure the government represents the people, the U.S. Constitution requires a population count every 10 years. Ever since 1790, the census has determined the number of seats each state receives in the U.S. House of Representatives. It is, and always has been, a cornerstone of our democracy. We still use it to determine representation, but leaders also use the data to make decisions. Your response helps guide planning for the future of our communities. The 2020 census will help inform decisions on how billions of dollars are allocated annually for critical public services like roads, schools, hospitals and healthcare clinics, fire and emergency response services, and hundreds of other programs. In 2020, for the first time, you'll be able to complete the census online, by phone, or by mail. It asks a few simple questions, like how many people live in your home on April 1st, including their age and sex, and if there are any children living there. You should know that by law, all census responses are completely confidential, and your personal information cannot be shared with any law enforcement agencies. Every person counts, no matter who you are or where you live. So whether your family has participated for decades or the 2020 census will be your first, we all have a role in shaping the future of our country.
Okay, so today's show, we want to mention that there's jobs available at the 2020 census. So 2020 census jobs provide great pay, flexible hours, weekly paid, and they pay you for training. So it's really pretty cool. You can apply online at 2020census.gov/jobs. That's 2020census.gov/jobs, or call 855-JOB-2020. That's 855-JOB-2020, and you can apply for a job right online. I know that there's a lot of jobs available, so do it today. That's the 2020 census.
What is the 2020 census? Every 10 years, the census records everyone living in this country. It's written in the Constitution and comes in a questionnaire that counts everyone who lives at your address on April 1st. The data can be used to inform funding for services like fire stations, schools, clinics, and representation that affect your community.
How will 2020 census data be used? Where there are more people, there are more needs for public services. That's why the census is used by the government to inform funding decisions each year. But that's not all. It's also used by nonprofits to inform services, by businesses to create jobs, and even by students for school projects. Understanding how the population changes helps us shape communities across the country for the better.
How does the 2020 census affect representation? There are 435 seats in the House of Representatives. These get distributed to the 50 states by population, and an accurate census response helps your state get the right amount of seats. States with smaller populations get at least one, while states with larger populations might get more.
How do I take the 2020 census? In March 2020, every address in the country will receive an invitation to complete a simple questionnaire. And there are 3 ways to respond. Number 1, do it online. Number 2, call by phone. Number 3, send it by mail. For those who don't respond, a census taker from your community will follow up and assist you.
Is my 2020 census data safe? After sending your census response, your personal information is kept safe. By law, it can't be shared with any other government agency, law enforcement, or landlord. No one. So take your 2020 census with peace of mind. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Okay, so we do a word every month, and today's word, the word of the month, is respect. And if you can't spell it, Aretha did. R-E-S-P-E-C-T, respect. Real important. And the definition to respect is due regard for feelings, wishes, rights, and traditions of others. It's real important in a small community that you spread respect, especially on the roads when you're driving or when you're in the stores or whatever. And a lot of us say hello to each other. It's just out of respect. So that's the word for the month is respect, and you'll hear that throughout this program. Okay, so it's Rich Varrasso here, and I'm right downtown Copperopolis. And we're doing our morning show here because there's a big parade put on by the veterans. It's Veterans Day today, and it's Family Day. And really, that's what it's all about here in this small town of Copperopolis. It's all about love and family. And I like it that way. That breeds respect, and respect's our word of the month. So we're brought to you by the Creative Community Co-op, and that's the new Chamber of Commerce right here coming out of Copperopolis. And it's a situation that you could join for free right now. And we do want you to join. So you could go to creativecommunitycoop.com to check us out. And we do a morning show every month, and we're going to be doing it out of Copper Valley, but right now they're constructing stuff, and the courthouse, which is a room there for events, is going to be constructed with some special attention to us broadcasting out of there, with some soundproofing so it's not as echoey as the first show, and some nice comfortable seats for the audience. And we're going to have some fun out of the courthouse at Copper Valley Town Square. But for now, in November, we're celebrating Veterans Day right here, and we're getting ready for the parade. So we're going to go around and see some of the views of the parade. And also a couple days ago, a helicopter came into town for the kids, and I want to show you some footage on that. That was really exciting. Okay, and I wanted to mention that when we're not in Copperopolis, a lot of times we go to San Andreas to the Metropolitan. I got to tell you, Cindy has a lot of programs started for the year 2020 already. You should check her website out at Fourth Wall Entertainment. That's Fourth Wall Entertainment, or the Metropolitan in San Andreas. It's a great place. She does theater, music, she serves great food. Check it out at the Metropolitan in San Andreas. Okay, I wanted to tell you guys about the internet radio station right out of here, right out of Copperopolis. It's copperopolis.rocks. Just type that in, copperopolis.rocks, or you could go www.copperopolis.rocks, and you'll get Famous Hits Live, which is my radio station, and we broadcast right here out of Copperopolis, and we play all the bands from the Bay Area, Sacramento, and around the Gold Country. That gives me CDs for airplay. I'm ready to play them. So if you have a song that you want on the radio show, let me know. And you can catch me on copperopolis.rocks. Right there, that website.
Jennifer is a veteran of the Persian Gulf conflict. She is also a member of the Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 12118 here in Copperopolis. Jennifer was stationed aboard the U.S. Puget Sound in the Persian Gulf as a second-class hull technician and welder. Please welcome Jennifer Dutton-Roll as she sings our national anthem. Let's give a big welcome again to CADS for helping us with our animals. Up next is someone you don't want to see behind you driving on Highway 4. This is a San Andreas CHP, covers all Calaveras County and portions of Alpine. 21 officers, 3 sergeants, and a lieutenant. Commander staff the CHP of San Andreas. 5 of our uniformed officers served in the military prior to the CHP. The CHP recruits heavily from the armed forces because of the training they receive and their willingness to serve the public, their military demeanor, and the CHP awards veterans preferences points to eligible candidates interested in a career with the CHP. We are proud to serve the residents of our county and our state. Thank you, sir. Hope never to see you. Well, everybody, that ends our parade today. Let's give a big hand to everybody that's here today. I would like to make a shout out and just for us to be thinking about those who have served and those that are continuing to serve and their loved ones, husbands and wives that are left behind. And if you're a praying folk, I just encourage you to pray for those servicemen. And we just pray for all of our servicemen to come home. Amen? All right, you guys have a blessed day and enjoy this day. And thank you for all the kids that came out and saw. I appreciate your parents making this a priority in your lives. We are very thankful to be free here in America. Amen.
Hey, it's still morning, so I want to welcome to our Veterans Day of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, James D. Piper Post 12118 Veterans Day ceremony. I'm honored to be speaking with you today on such an important occasion and on such a beautiful November day. We are here to honor our service members and to remember the sacrifices they have made and the courage that it takes to defend our honor, duty, and country. We're here today to honor our heroes, to remember their achievements, their courage, their dedication, and to say thank you for their sacrifices. Thinking of heroes who join us in this group today and those who are here only in spirit, a person cannot help but feel awed by the enormity of what we encounter. We stand in the midst of patriots, their family and friends, and of those who have served. I would like to have all the service members and veterans who are here right now raise your hands, please. Woo-hoo! Thank each and every one of you. Now, I would like to ask all the family members of any of the service members to stand, raise your hand. We know you've lived through difficult times and often taken a heavy load to keep the home fires burning. Thank you for what you have done. All the family members of a veteran, stand up, raise your hand. Thank each and every one of you. The service members we honor today came from all walks of life, but they shared fundamental qualities. They possessed courage, pride, determination, selflessness, dedication to duty, and integrity. All the qualities needed to serve a cause greater than one's self. Many of them didn't ask to leave their homes to fight on distant battlefields. Many didn't even volunteer. They didn't go to war because they loved fighting. They were called to be part of something bigger than themselves. They were ordinary people who responded in extraordinary ways in extreme times. They rose to the nation's call because they wanted to protect the nation which has given them and us so much. As we look around us today, we see veterans. We see veterans that fought and served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Panama, and much of the Middle East, and here stateside in support. To each much is due. Thanks for your service. To those that made the ultimate sacrifice, we give much thanks and pray for your sacrifice was not in vain. I think I can speak for most of the veterans in attendance today and say thank you for your support and for your good feelings today. I would like to thank everyone that participated in today's parade. What a great time. I would also like to thank everyone that has supported today's parade. That's all of you. To have a great parade and a ceremony. Thank you. Thank you for attending today. God bless you and your families. God bless our troops. And God bless America. Thank you. That's all I got, and you're all free.
We are free.
Okay, it's Rich Varrasso here with CCOM News, and we're here at the Copperopolis Fire Department right down the street from our headquarters to see a fantastic situation where there's a Black Hawk helicopter that just landed, and it's going to show the kids what's going on. So let's go over there and check it out. Okay, so here we are with a bunch of handsome fellas. What are you guys doing here?
Well, we were invited by the Copperopolis Elementary School to attend the it's an appreciation day from the school back to the veterans here in our community, and they've invited us to be here with the Black Hawk helicopter and with the children.
Well, you know, we certainly do appreciate what you guys have done, and to show the kids what's going on, I think, is a fantastic program.
Oh, it is. We enjoy it, and you know, we all participate as best we can to get back with the children and the young students, and we give them a little background about what we did in the military and that kind of thing, so they understand.
Well, an operation is really important, and helicopters are a very important part of that operation.
Well, I guess so. I wasn't involved with the helicopters when I was in the service. I was on the ground all the time, so which was fine with me.
Flying around. How about you? Where were you at?
Well, my name is Mike Asha, and I served in the U.S. Navy submarine service, so I was below, not above. And it was nice and quiet down there.
I bet it was. But it goes to show you how intense the operation is. Whether it's land, sea, or air, you guys had something going on and a lot of equipment.
Absolutely. It's got to be coordinated. That's right. Everybody's got a mission, and that mission's got to be fulfilled to the best of its ability.
So where are you guys out of?
I'm here from Copperopolis.
Yeah, so mostly copper?
Yeah, we're all in Copperopolis here. We're part of the Copperopolis Veterans of Foreign Wars post. And
Where do you meet at?
We meet right here at the
right here at the station. All right, so we're in familiar territory. You know, my operation's right down the street, so we're all Copperopolis folks. All right, well, let's go over and check out this helicopter. So I definitely want to peek in here. You want to peek inside this thing? Well, there's
One of the things this aircraft would do for the community is it's made for also for firefighting. They can haul, I think it's an 820-gallon bucket, and help with CAL FIRE. They go out on fires and things like that.
Would
also.
the bucket be underneath?
Yeah, they have an external hook underneath there, and then it would be underneath there, and then they just drop water with a CAL FIRE manager on board the aircraft.
I see.
The Chinooks also do that. That's where my experience is with Chinooks, not so much Black Hawks.
And what kind of helicopter is that?
It's a tandem rotor helicopter.
So two
rotors. The only ones in California. It's the only Chinook unit in California. There's 3 locations that these would be at: Mather, Fresno, and Los Alamitos.
I got you. And the Chinooks would have a bigger payload.
Oh yeah, Sam. They would have a 2,000-gallon bucket.
And be able to carry more troops.
33 combat-ready troops. This hauls, I think, 13.
Right, and when you say combat ready, that means with all their gear.
All their gear and stuff, yeah.
And that takes up room too.
Oh, it sure does.
And every ounce on a helicopter counts, right?
Weight, yes.
So,
weight and power,
So this guy up front would be saying, hey, we need to stick to a certain amount of gross.
Yes, he would. And he would also be trying to manage his weight and balance, center of gravity type
I got
stuff.
you. So all the bigger fellas come up front or something?
Well, most of it's centered with the mast.
I got you.
So they'll try and position their loads accordingly.
Okay. Well, this is interesting. You got some...
No, the pilots, they're over there. They have a lot more information than I would on this
let me go over
aircraft.
there. But I do appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. Like I said, we're here with combat vets. So we're here just representing our chapter and to be part of the community so they know what we're about.
I got you.
We're there, vets helping vets, and you know, we look for vets that are homeless and things like that, and try and get them help, get them off the streets. That's what we're about.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, there's a program right now as far as homeless guys and people without jobs. The Census Bureau is hiring people right now for census jobs.
That's what I saw on the AARP.
Yeah, and not only that, but they give special attention to veterans.
And that's the information we get out to those guys.
Yeah.
You know, make sure that they...
You know, I got a couple cards. Apply online. Let me give it.
All right, great.
You spread the word.
I will, sir.
Because it may only be a temporary job, but it could be just enough to get these guys off the ground and give them a little bit of, you know, something good to live for and some money.
And that's what we try to do as our organization, is contacting them and letting them know there's resources out there to get them off the streets. You know, we provide them with tents, sleeping bags. We have backpacks with stuff in there for them. You know, and we. Like I said, once a year we adopt a family, Christmas time?
Yeah, last year we adopted 2, and this year it's in the works to get some more, another family.
Well, so besides the actual goods that you give them some compassion.
Oh, yeah, we're always there to talk to them and stuff.
But isn't that really important, because sometimes they may not have anyone to reach out to. And so... by giving them a little heart and compassion, it might give them some inspiration to move forward.
Definitely.
And then some resources that you give them, maybe something to live for right now, and then a job for the future.
That's exactly what
I'm
we
all
do.
for you guys. Good work. Really
Thank you,
appreciate the work that you do.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so here we are at the helicopter, and I want to go talk to a couple of boys who know about this thing. What's your name?
Hey, good morning. Joe Gentry.
Hey, Joe. How's it going? I'm Rich.
Doing good. Rich, how you doing today?
Pretty good, and this was exciting because I live down the street, and so me and him were loading up our camera, and all of a sudden it sounded like a huge egg beater over the house.
I hope we didn't knock any pictures off the wall.
Oh, no, it was a fantastic showing. I think the kids are all having a good time. So what do you do with this thing?
So I'm a Black Hawk pilot. This is the newest helicopter that we have in the Army, really. It's what we call a Mike model Black Hawk, and we just got them in California in the past 12 months. It's a little different that it has a glass cockpit, so basically that means there's color screens, like almost like an iPad, if you will. So it's color moving map, and a lot more safer features on it. It has autopilot on the helicopter. So
what do they need you for?
I know, it could basically fly itself. That's true. We just push buttons and turn knobs. So it's a fun aircraft to fly. We came out of Fresno, and we're at the 1106 TASM G is the name of the unit, and it's a aviation maintenance facility. So we fix helicopters there in Fresno.
Hey, let me ask you a couple of quick questions, and then I'll let you get to the kids. How far do you think this thing could go on the fuel that it has?
So you have about 2.5 hours worth of fuel. So we've flown from Fresno to Los Alamitos on a bag of gas, and even further than that would probably be Fresno to Redding. We made it to Fresno to Redding on 1 tank of gas.
Well, how about Fresno to Vegas?
I've flown from Fresno to Vegas on a tank of gas, yeah.
Okay, we're going. Hey, I'm going to let you talk to the kids, but I appreciate your words.
All right, have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody's, there you go, perfect. Line up straight. Everybody squeeze over. You like that. Make a line that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. You'll all get in, I promise. You'll all get in. So everybody go that way. Kids, line up, get your buddy and line up this way so we can keep everybody straight. Here you go. Okay. Yep, line up. I promise everybody will get in. Okay, so first two, hop up here. There you go. And take those last two seats there. I dropped the seats so we can get a couple more. Okay, next two, step right up. There you go. That's what the troops like to do. Take those last seats right there, all the way at the end. All the way. There you go. Next two. And sit in these here. This one here and this one here. And then one more we can go here. Okay. Hold right there. So let's get a picture. Now you're sitting where the troops sit. This is where the troops sit when they fly into the war. Okay, very good. Okay, exit out that way. Thanks for being good. All right, and next one, you can hop right up. There you go, just like the troops do. Take that last seat right there, over, see, way over there, way over there, way over there.
It mounts right here.
It's
not on right now, but it mounts right there, and then it's swings out.
Take that one on the last one down.
Crew chief is the gunner.
Next one to that. You can hop right up, take this one right here. And you take this one right here. We got one more. Take this one right here. I like your flag. That's right. I like your sweatshirt too. Hold up right here. Okay, picture. Everybody smile. That's where the, oh, no picture, okay. This is where the troops sit. All right, exit out that way, and we'll get the next group in. Thank you. You're very good. Okay, hop right up. Grab on anything. Take that last seat way down there. Take that way down there. Okay, next two, hop right up. Are you buddies? Who's the buddies? Okay, the buddies come first. All right, take that. You can take that seat, either one. And buddy, sit next to a buddy. Okay, you can hop right up here. And looks like you get your pick. Any seat you like. Okay, that's where the troops sit. Smile at the camera. This is where your troops now, right? Very good. Okay, thanks for being good. All right, you can exit out that way. I like your flag. That's great.
Okay, so your gross weight is a little less if you're loading up children rather than troops with gear, right?
Very true, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And if it's less, we don't have to recalculate anything if it goes down. Right. But we do if it goes up.
In an emergency situation, would you load more people than seats if it was an emergency and they were, say, children?
Well, if it was definitely a life or death, you know, a fire such as Paradise or something like that, we would fold the seats up like that and then put just as many in as we could. We'd close the doors, keep everybody as secure as we can, and fly them out to safety.
And you wouldn't go very far. You'd go to the next safe place.
We wouldn't go very far like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's really a matter of life and death.
Right.
And so we would go to the first safe landing zone, you know, fire station, something that's not threatened, to get the passengers off.
And when you're loaded with water, say for Paradise Fire, how many crew people do you have?
We'll have normally 4. We'll have 2 pilots, an Army crew chief, and then a fire captain from CAL FIRE Agency will be in the left rear seat. And he's the well-trained individual that sort of directs the rest of the crew to drop the water. We'll have a water bucket underneath, and he'll guide us in. He'll give us turns, and then he'll count down 3, 2, 1, drop, and that way we can be more accurate. Because a lot of times the people like me in uniform, we don't have the situation, you know, quite as well as the actual fire captains there. And so it's a joint program with CAL FIRE to have someone on that's real smart on that.
So he's your trigger man.
Yes.
And you're the logistic guy.
We provide the ride, and he tells us where to go.
Right.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Very
hey,
true.
Thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Sure. You want to hop in? You can get in the seat.
Well, I don't think that with my weight, you wouldn't be able to see the switches. I don't know if this thing could pull me up, you know?
Yeah, well, it'll definitely you, me,
and a few others, huh?
Yeah, and 15 others.
No matter how much pizza we.
Yeah, that's it.
So, you're rolling, right? Okay. So while he's rolling, give me a quick synopsis of you got your pilot and your co-pilot?
Correct. And the seats are interchangeable and the flight controls are dual. And so they're connected and interchangeable. And so either pilot can fly. Only one flies at a time while the other one will be navigating, talking on the radio, doing fuel checks, things like that. And then after a while, they'll transfer controls and transfer duties like that. And so you see there are 4 multifunction displays. They're just TV screens that have all the flight instruments and engine instruments, and any kind of emergency warning lights will pop up on those when they're turned on. And the lower console is all radios and communication type equipment. Overhead, we have the power control levers. This is a twin-engine helicopter, so we have 2 throttles and 2 fuel system selectors on it, and other light switches and things like that on the overhead. And then the big handle, the metal handle, is actually a rotor brake. And this is the first Army helicopter that's been equipped with a rotor brake. So when we land and shut the engines off, instead of waiting for the blades to coast down on their own, we pull that brake and it pulls it to a stop very rapidly. And that's primarily for shipboard, because Army aircraft actually operate on ships occasionally, and they don't have time to wait around for that slow coast down. They want that rotor blade to stop so they can chain you down or put you away in the hangar.
And in an emergency situation, it might help too.
Yes, true. Yeah. Very true.
How many horsepower do you?
This thing is 1,500 shaft horsepower per engine.
I see.
Yeah.
And the redundancy in pilots is a good safety feature, right?
Yes, yeah. And the workload is so much, especially things like special operations. The workload is so much that a pilot flying, there's just too much to do to fly and navigate and do all the other system checks and things like that. So we really have to have 2 just to share the workload.
And then your compadre over here said it was autopilot. So would that be from a system inside or from the ground?
It's electronic. It's self-contained. And what they can do is they can program in the course to fly, and they just turn knobs and flip switches to tell it how high to fly, how fast to fly, rate of descent, and the point of landing on there can all be automatically controlled, and it's all onboard computers, just like airliners.
And in an emergency, you flip a switch and you can take over.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Shift gears.
Yeah.
Wave to them. Say hi. All right. Good. Let's go. No, you're not buckling that. Yep, we got it. Ready for it. We're gonna move. Good. Just stay.
Oh wait. It's the same form, right? Come here, Dad. Come line up. It's me. Oh my God. Sorry. Yeah. From that dirt. I have a couple things on my photo.
Come in. Okay, no problem. We've done about, I just wanted to get them coming in. Okay. I got all kinds of great.
Right, wave to the camera.
Morning. Good yourself?
All right.
Hey, just a couple last words before you're going to take off,
Yeah.
right?
How's my hair look? Is it messed up from my hat?
Well, it's called motorcycle helmet. You know?
Helmet head, yeah.
Helmet head, yeah. Hey, I'm sure the kids really appreciated the visual on this. This is something that probably will stick in their heads forever. And you know what? You might get a helicopter pilot out of it in the future. You never know.
I hope so. It was a good turnout. The kids were great. And we need helicopter pilots in the California Army National Guard. So hopefully one day they'll be out here visiting their own town, and that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and the equipment is fantastic to look at. And so I'm speaking for everyone. I'm really happy that you guys came out, and thanks a lot.
Yeah, appreciate your support. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a picture of you guys taking off, so I guess we should probably not hang out.
We'll probably kick up some dust, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be too close if you don't want to ruin your camera or getting your
Well, I don't
face
want
or
to be
whatever.
like Yogi Bear where I'm hanging on with a picnic
Yeah,
basket,
yeah.
you know? Hey,
funny.
Take care. Nice meeting you.
All right, have a good day.
Yep, take care.
Bye-bye.
We got a 90 pounder too. Big English bulldog that does nothing but sleep and eat. got back in time. Just in time.
So we're here in Copperopolis. We're at the corner bar right now, and the Grand Marshal of today's parade was Dennis Thompson, but we call him Denny, right?
Correct.
And he has survived D-Day. He's been on over 30 missions on B-24s, right?
And B-17s.
And B-17s. The guy's got a phenomenal history, and probably too long to talk about right now. But let's just start with the fact that we really appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate being alive and healthy.
Well, you know, some of us, getting old is only part of our minds. You know, we could stay young if we want. It looks like you've done a heck of a job.
Yeah, exactly. I think about it a lot, that I've been so busy flying everywhere, you know, 10 or 12 times to D-Day and different movies. And by the way, Don, would you get another book for this gentleman? I keep sending her out after my books.
And so I did see that you wrote a book, and that's of your experiences not only during the war but after the war, right?
The whole thing, one end to the other. When I read it myself, I only read it once. I can't believe I've done everything that's in there, yeah. But that's probably why I'm still 97 and got a complete health clearance completely.
Well, you know, you probably got a backstage pass from the man upstairs.
I probably did. That's probably
out.
what it limit to it, yep.
And I think that one of the things I do around here is talk about community, and it's really important that the kids of this community understand what fellas have to go through to be in the service and to serve our country.
Well, I've been here, I think this is the 5th year I've been here. It's a lot of fun around here, and but I think I've been the only WW2 veteran in the parades. So, so I'm flattered, and we always go here. We always come away from there and come back here, and I usually got a bunch of people with me, and most of them are good-looking girls.
Well, that's travel. Like I said, I've been on the road on tour throughout the country with big names, big rock stars, and you're probably one of the biggest guys, and that I could say that in my heart, I really feel that you're a headliner.
Well, thank you.
You know, you have been through a lot. You're like the Mick Jagger of D-Day right now.
But bless you. I knew some of the stars. I had a hunting outfit. See, I was a guiding outfit for big game as well, Africa and Alaska. And I had Carol Shelby was one of my partners, and Colonel Stu Rusa, Apollo 15. He was my partner over there. So anyway, I had met a lot of people.
And did you get to? You got Purple Hearts. Did you get
Twice.
to
Twice.
meet the president on those?
Oh yeah, I met them all but Obama.
Okay.
I won't say any more.
Well, that was after your.
Yeah, no, there's been Trump since and so forth.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we go every year, and there's usually a group goes with me from 8, one time 22 people, most of them from Sonora. We'd all go in a big tribe over there, and
Nice.
And we already got our reservations for this year.
Good.
Yeah, this will be, I think, the 11th trip to D-Day.
And so France puts on a big to-do there?
Oh, they're terrific.
Uh-huh.
France is terrific. They are so nice. They'd even get down on your knees to.
Thank you.
Yep.
Now, how about the scars? Is there still scars on the land from D-Day?
Just the bomb craters on Omaha Beach.
Right.
They left all of them. Other than that, I don't see any.
Growing over and.
Yeah, they've tore them down, built them up again, and.
Right.
Actually, they built them from the trash that came from the bombing. I know one particular town is completely built out of the rock that came out of the buildings that we demolished. Yeah.
Well, now, that day, did things go so fast that you just can't believe how fast they went, or did it go real slow?
Well, about in the middle, really, but it was almost unbelievable. The ships, the airplanes, and so forth.
The magnitude of what was going on.
They made, I think it was 11,000 sorties of aircraft across there, and there was airplanes everywhere. But we never, one of the few times we never got shot at. It was a milk run. That's what I called it. Yeah, we went to a town of German headquarters and so forth, and of course we demolished it. It was just past the D-Day beaches, about 30 miles. No, that was a piece of cake. That was one of maybe 5 or 6 we didn't get holes in the airplane. Other than that, we got lots of holes in the airplane.
When you landed, your plane was riddled.
Oh, my 30th mission, there was over 500 holes in it, and it was a brand new airplane. And my arm had 13 pieces in it. That's
shrapnel?
Shrapnel, yeah. Out of shells, either from the fighters or from the ground. Pretty hard to tell.
But the Lord was with you that everyone made it, huh?
Absolutely, yeah. Not everyone, of course.
Yeah.
But
you got back.
Yeah, you got back, yeah. No, there was lots of the boys were lost.
Yeah.
Lots of them.
Yeah, the statistics were phenomenal.
Yeah.
So that was a big effort, and we won that one.
Yeah, we won the whole thing, and it cost a lot of lives.
Yeah.
To win it, because I'm kind of a bug of watching the TVs on D-Day, and there's jillions of them. They're on all the time. Yeah.
And what rubs you the wrong way on some of those documentaries?
Well, the only documents I look at are the actual ones, so there's no really remarks on them.
Uh-huh.
If you have a filmed one, I generally don't lie because they're not that interesting to me. The real thing. Now here they found 6. It took them a while. Yeah.
Well, no matter how you look at it, it was a tragic situation, and something that we had to try to avoid as much as possible.
It's almost unbelievable. The whole world was in it. The entire world. Wasn't anybody out of it to speak of. Yeah. I didn't get over there. If the war had continued, I would have gone over because I was going into P-51 fighters, but I took a lot. I was a guide and outfitter for big game for 60-some years, and I had people from all over the world. I had a bunch from Japan, 2 guys come over first with photographers and stuff for polar bear, I think it was. And then the next time there was 6 or 8 of them come. Then the next time there was 20 of them wanted to come. So I couldn't take them. But they did invite us, my wife and I, over to Japan for a month. And this was 1970. The World's Fair was on. And that's the only place I got a decent meal, was at the World's Fair, because tourists didn't come around at that time.
Right.
But they were very nice, but nobody spoke English except a rare person. So anyway, we got to travel around the world a lot. I used to go every 6 weeks. I'd go someplace, a tiger hunt or some doggone thing. But I figured I'd kind of retire in my old age, but that's not happening, and I'm tickled to death.
There's no reason to retire, because that's when you get tired.
No. Everybody asks me when did I retire or when do I retire. I'm not even thinking about it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. Now, if there was one thing that you could tell the kids from all your experience about what you've been through in war and what do you think that would be in today's world?
Well, that I feel like I'd done my thing, and they're living in the best country in the world.
That's right.
Don't even think about anything else. I'd like it better if they got rid of the Democrats, but well, you might be one. I don't know.
You know, I'm confused on what I am.
Oh, you got to be. Everybody's got to be confused about it.
It's a strange time out there for that. But what you're saying is that some of these kids may not focus on what we have, and what we have here is true liberty and freedom.
It's hard for me to understand. They don't understand that. That's the thing. So many of them do. They get so far out that they cannot believe reality.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know, I come up with a word every program, and the word this program is respect. I think that word goes a long ways.
If they understand it and so forth,
Yeah, it's probably up to us as the elders to teach these guys respect.
Yeah. Of course, the Vietnam guys and them, they weren't welcomed too well, so they maybe don't put the heart into it like I do, because I was welcomed everywhere.
That's right.
No matter where I went, I was.
And that's a shame.
And I still am. Yeah.
Well, you know, you're a true legend and a true hero, and that's why it's an honor for me to be able to talk to you and share this with these folks out here.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, and next year we're going to have you back.
I've been here 5 years. I'll be here another year.
All right. Well, since I'm around next year, we're going to have a bigger party.
Okay.
More.
Yeah, we missed you folks, I guess, the rest of the years, because I can't remember anybody interviewing me.
Well, I was on the road with rock bands. That's why I say I know a lot of rock stars.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you that this is a huge honor for me, and not too many stars make me giddy, but I was really happy to be able to interview you, because now I have it on film, and this is going to be around forever.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's on film, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm gonna
for an ugly old man.
I'm gonna tell everyone about your movie when we see it come out.
It should be out this month, no question about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this was a big appreciation. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody said you were around a while ago, and you took off someplace, but you came back.
Yeah. I'll tell you that in 1 second. But first, I want to say it's Rich Varrasso with CCOM News right here in Copperopolis. Okay, so it seems to be about the end of the show, and we had a real good time here in downtown Copperopolis for the parade, and I want to thank everybody for watching, and I want to thank people that helped On camera, we have Chris Heffelfinger. He's doing a great job. On the radio show, it's Saul Vigil is the producer for the radio show, and Tarang Patil is my editor for video editing, and Captain Cow, John Mork, on sound. He's been my sound guy for a long time and does a lot of my band sound. You got to come out and see my band sometime if you see us around. It's the Famous Hits Band. And go to Copperopolis.rocks to check me out on the radio. And appreciate you guys all being here. Great show today. Okay, I just wanted to mention again about being a census taker. There's a lot of positions open right now with the U.S. Census Bureau for the 2020 census. So I want to tell you that the 2020 census jobs provide great pay, flexible hours, and paid training. You could call them at 855-JOB-2020 or catch them on their website at 2020census.gov/jobs.
Welcome to Be a Census Taker, 2020 Census Jobs. My name is Joni Crestwell and I'm with the U.S. Census Bureau. We'd like to share how easy it is to apply for any of the thousands of open jobs in communities across the country.
The application process happens online and takes about 30 minutes. You'll answer simple questions about your education, work, and other experience. Because the Census Bureau needs to fill thousands of positions across the country, recruiting efforts are already underway. Apply now, and your application remains in the applicant pool for the entire 2020 census cycle. You can also update the information on your application at any time by logging into the account you created when you applied and submitting the changes. After you submit your application, you can keep track of your status by logging into your account. You'll also receive email notifications. We'll reach out to potential hires to conduct a phone interview. The job offers are made verbally and followed up by a confirmation via email. The next step is to schedule an appointment to get your fingerprints done for the background check. Once your background check clears, you will be scheduled for training. The details for training will be determined by the position and operation for which you've been selected to work. Most importantly, you'll be paid for training time. Now, you're probably wondering about scheduling. That's one of the great features of these jobs. The hours are flexible and include days, evenings, and even weekends. And jobs for the 2020 census offer competitive wages that are paid weekly, along with authorized expenses such as mileage. It's a great way to earn some extra income and play an important role in shaping the future of your community.
Be a part of this historic event. Join the 2020 Census team. Applying online is easy. Visit 2020census.gov/jobs and click the Apply Now button. If you'd like to learn more before you apply, please watch additional videos in this series. Thanks again.